So every weekend at Riverwood feels like it's a big weekend. This one we want to especially say Happy Father's Day to all you dads. As well, this is your second last weekend to register for the Global Leadership Summit in August. Riverwood is hosting. That means you get a special half-price host church rate of $99, but you have to register before June 26th.
We've also got a couple of Riverwood trips coming up. So our annual Swazi trip happens this coming December. We've still got some spots available for that. And as well, Experience Israel. If you want to experience Israel together as a church, that's coming up in March.
But we want to take a moment to talk about some even bigger news. You remember that there have been moments throughout our history as a church that have been just defining. When we formed 23 years ago, when we got our first building, the Almar brothers, they donated half the price of that building. All the 5 buildings after that have all got a miracle story behind them, and there is a miracle story that's developing right now.
We're standing here on a property right next to the fire hall, and we've often walked past this property. There was a housing unit that I think had 8 or 10 units, and we thought, what if we bought this and turned it into supportive housing? Because housing is such an issue that we run into in our neighborhood program.
That would have been a huge dream come true, if we could have had 8 units, and then a fire struck this last year and it went and ended up burning down.
But a couple of months ago, something significant happened. We were approached by a nonprofit organization that had just formed around this idea of creating supportive housing.
Yeah, so there's this small group of Christian business owners, architect, real estate agent, various former CEOs that got together and said, we really want to invest in something in our city for supportive housing. They began looking around for some partners. They ended up knocking on your door.
Yeah, they had heard about what Riverwood is doing in Elmwood, and they are actually eyeing up a property here in Elmwood. And so they wanted to talk to us, and those conversations developed quite quickly into the potential of Riverwood becoming a partner in this project.
Yeah, so this has moved really, really quickly, but here's the bottom line. We just purchased this property, which is remarkable.
Even as you say it, it feels a little surreal. But as of July 15th, Riverwood will be the official owners of this property. The story of this is actually pretty remarkable. We don't have cash in the bank to do this, but this group has come to us and said, here's what we can bring to the table. We got connections to fundraise, to seek out public funding, and to raise the money for this project, for the purchase of this and the project itself.
Yeah, so what they brought to the table as their partnership is absolutely a miracle. They're talking a $6 million property and complex with 40 housing units, plus $500,000 a year for the first 5 years to run the operations of this. They bring that to the table, and what we bring is our heart for Elmwood, our heart for people and helping to restore people, and some of our expertise that you and your team have developed in terms of just caring for the vulnerable people in this community.
There will be 40 units of housing that will resource those that are coming out of treatment or addiction programming, those that are overcoming mental illness and trying to find a place of stability, but really need some support as they do that. It'll be housing that's safe and stable for them, sober living, but also one that empowers them and provides the necessary support services around them and a context of community.
Yeah, and it's not a done deal yet. We have officially purchased the property. The funds need to come in for that. Plus, this housing group is looking to raise millions of dollars from provincial and federal government and from private sources. There's a long journey ahead. In fact, shovels won't go on the ground until...
well, hopefully in 2019, but the goal would be to have a project in place by the end of 2020.
2020. So we've got a ways to go, but every time you drive by this, every time you see the sold sign, be in prayer for this housing group, in prayer for you and your team, and thanking God for this incredible miracle to help us do what we've been called to do in this community. And so we just wanted to share that with you. We think it's massive news that we get to celebrate. I think it's one of those defining moments. It came right out of the blue. It is shocking us and surprising us, but God's continuing to invest in what we're doing in this community and reaffirming that we have been called here to make a difference.